Good evening, everybody. Hello, teachers. Good evening, everybody. Okay, so before we begin, let me introduce myself. I'm Teacher Mavis, and today with us we have two master teachers who are also the curriculum writers of the secondary curriculum, okay, secondary English curriculum. So, firstly, we have Mr. Steven Sim. Hello, Mr. Steven.
Hello. Hello,
Good
Mavis, and hello,
evening.
everybody.
Hello, and then we also have Mrs. Shum. Hi, Mr. Shum. You can unmute yourself. Let them hear
Hello,
your voice.
everyone.
Okay.
Conserving energy.
Conserving energy. Okay, so tonight, thank you for joining us tonight. There are still some people streaming in. Okay, so just to check that you have today's materials, my colleague has shared this document. So let me just share it on the screen so that you can just check. Okay, it says session one, and then you see this the big bad wolf and what's her name? A Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, on this page. Okay, so all of you today, we are in this classroom where you can actually see all the participants here. And you can also respond to us using the chat, okay, so that everyone can see your response. Before we begin, what we are going to do today is we are going to look at some MCQ questions, right? The really low hanging fruit, okay? And then we are going to look at the full paper, okay? So a lot of people think that listening is they will consider listening to be a low-hanging fruit. But when we mark, or at least when I mark my students' work, sometimes even in the MCQ questions, they make a mistake. And very often it is a careless mistake. Okay? So today we are not just getting you to come here and to just listen. We want to teach you good exam techniques that you can apply, whether you are in Sec 1, 2, 3, or 4. So this reminds me, can we just in the chat now, let all the teachers here know what level are you at? Okay, are you Sec 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1, 2, 3, or 4? So that the teachers get an idea of the profile, okay, today. So our Sec 4s, you're going to take your O levels very soon. Okay, with lots of Sec 3s as well, Sec 2s as well. Okay,
The other
okay.
question is also for those
Mhm.
of you who are in Sec 4 and have finished your prelims, how many marks did you get out of 30? Okay, don't be shy. Nobody can see except us.
Yeah.
What kind
So
of marks are you getting?
share with
So
Mr.
don't
Sim.
worry if you don't have the materials. What we can do is that later on when we are doing warm-ups or the actual paper, I will zoom in so that the whole page captures the questions. What some of you can do if you have your iPads or your devices, you can take a picture. You can always type your answers in the chat or write it separately on a piece of paper according to the numbers. That way, you can also check for accuracy.
Hmm. Okay, so Mr. Shang, I have some questions for you. Do you remember what the O level English paper was like during your time?
Hmm. Yes, that was okay. This is funny. Okay, they're all going to start calculating our ages. That was more than 2 decades ago. It was much simpler at my time. No listening comprehension, no visual text, definitely no editing. No editing at all.
No editing. So you didn't have to comb through grammar errors or spelling slips?
Nope. We focus more on comprehension, composition. In fact, very simple situational writing. Summary was the real challenge. Stephen, if you recall, summary was, I think, 150 words, much longer. But we needed to be very short, very sharp, and very formal in the way we write.
Yeah, but these days, right? These days it's quite different. It's a whole different ball game. You know, students have to analyze the layout of the layout, okay? When it comes to visuals, the tone, they have to look at the visuals and even the use of fonts. Mm.
Yes, they need to be very alert as readers, very persuasive in their writing. They need to edit very well, all in 4 papers. And, for paper 1 and 2, it's really very tiring.
Yeah, and I always tell my students they cannot just memorize model essays anymore because everything is skill based now.
Exactly. In the past, if we had neat handwriting and clear grammar, you are actually halfway there, at least a B3 or 4.
Yeah, but not anymore. Today's scripts are judged on clarity of argument, especially when writing essays, right? Clarity of argument, your audience awareness when you're doing SW, and even the text purpose. And we also get formatting, right?
Yes, so kudos to this generation. I definitely don't want to go through the O levels again.
Yeah, me neither. But luckily, we've got tools, strategies, and lots of practice materials now.
Okay, Mavis, let's do this. Shall we quiz our audience today to see if they have been listening well to what you and I have been saying?
So pull out the poll.
Should we?
Let's pull out the poll. So these 3 questions now. Okay, based on the conversation we just had. Conversation that Mrs. Shum and I just had. Okay, answer all the questions in the poll. Yeah, please feel free to ask questions in the chat as well. We will try our best to answer them, okay?
There's just the few of us here. I think all of you can just type into the chat instead of Q&A. Yeah,
Oh,
I
there's
think we
only
can
chat. There's
manage.
only chat.
Yeah, there's only chat. Good.
Okay, let's see.
So we played a little trick on all of you. You thought we were just wasting time, is it? So some of you are wondering, I've had queries from parents. How can my son improve in listening? I think this is one skill you cannot improve just before your paper 3 exam. It is something you have to have a good habit for. When you talk to friends, when you listen to friends, can you pick out their main points? Can you tell whether they're angry with you? So if you're tone deaf, you get into this very dangerous situation. You take things literally, perhaps, or you don't quite get the purpose of why somebody is sharing information with you. Okay, so Mavis and I just now, we had a little conversation, and shall we end poll?
Okay, let's
Let's
end the
see
poll.
how all of them did.
Let's see. Did they
So
get it right? Oh,
can we share results?
yeah.
Who shares? I share.
Yes, we can. Can.
You can see it? Can
Yes,
all
I
of you
can
see
see
the
the
results? Okay,
Yes.
so which of the following was not part of the O-level English paper in the past? Very good. 61% chose correctly. I think I deliberately said, what did I say? Yes, that was more than 2 decades ago when I was a student. It was much simpler, no listening comprehension, no visual text, and certainly no editing. Oral exam for sure has been all the time there. Stephen, any memories of what happened in the past before?
The questions were much simpler. They didn't have 6 speakers, and they didn't have mind map, and they didn't have this thing where you only get to hear it once. And I think those are the really difficult questions, especially when the students don't have enough practice and they're not used to it. And we see many reports of students who say, "Oh, I'm so," and I use the actual word, I'm so cooked because I waited for the the second time for the passage to be
And
read
still they
out,
can't catch
and
it.
then I had not even written anything, and then it was the end of the listening comprehension exam. So when you're not ready, when you don't have enough practice, those are some of the terrible things that can happen. But you are here,
Yes.
so
Yes,
those
let's
things don't
help you
happen to you.
over 3 sessions. Correct. Which component was added in the recent years, I think 2014 or 2013, to test grammar accuracy directly? The clue is accuracy of grammar directly. Editing. Okay. Then number 3, compared to before, today's English exam places more emphasis on, it's a different ball game, right? Not spelling, definitely, not penmanship. None of you ever get serious marks deducted. I think many teachers are not too harsh on you. And definitely no memorizing fixed formats. A lot of things are very fluid. So you're tested on interpretation and critical thinking in your main papers. So to get right down to business, Today we want to do a little bit of more warm-ups with just multiple choice questions, at least for my son. He's taking the O-levels as well. I look at his paper and sometimes I wonder, how is it he didn't do well for MCQs, but okay for the rest? So what's with the MCQs? This is the thing. Regardless of the segments you are doing in a listening comprehension paper, before listening, sometimes they'll tell you, okay, can you check that all pages are printed correctly? You have from question 1 all the way to question 23 or 22. Before listening, what should you do? As you flip the paper, scan through all the questions. And definitely before each section starts, you need to scan through all the questions and look at the options. Look, when I'm talking to you now, I'm instinctively, reflexively, I'm actually underlining. This is a habit I've had since young because I tend to hear something, but sometimes my answer don't quite reflect it. I'm rather careless with MCQs actually. So the thing is keywords. Are you needed for literary answers? I mean, direct answers, literal answers, details, or do you need to make an inference? That means, do you need to read, in this case, listen between the lines, not read between the lines? Next, are you able to predict the topic and context from the question stems? So when you look at the questions, can you tell roughly what the listening passage is going to be about? And therefore, start predicting the kind of things that will be asked. So obviously, if you get questions when you scan through MCQs, like which is true is this of fairy tales? It's a very big clue. First, you got to listen up for true, false. And the topic is fairy tales or a certain kind of genre of writing. So you need to do all of these. Next, during the first listening, during the first recording that is being played, don't panic. The thing is, regardless of whether you drop a pencil, sometimes things roll off your desk or you start coughing or whatever, don't panic. Calmly listen to whatever you can and then wait for the second recording. Okay, focus on understanding the overall flow. So when you listen, especially to a conversation or non-fictional kind of content text, you have to say, okay, this conversation, somebody is disagreeing about whether uniforms are relevant in today's world. Listen for information. So I've got to listen to speaker one's main argument, why she thinks uniforms are not relevant anymore. Then you neatly mark any answer. So this is what I always suggest. Don't mess up your paper. So you have columns at the side, isn't it? Your 1, 2 options, 1, 2, 3, 4, or A, B, C, D. Some of you like to, whoops, I drew one more. Some of you like to do this, and then you cancel, and then you do this, and then you cancel. Everything looks very, very messy. So what can you do? I sometimes tell students, if you really don't want to mess up your paper, you put a dot, or you can put a tick at the side, or you put a dot at the side. What you think during the first listening, if you think A is the answer, then you put a dot next to it. Okay? Then next, you listen for specific information related to your pre-read questions. And next, neatly mark out any answers you're confident about. So there's some questions that are very easy. Obviously, D or B or something like that. Then you put a nice tick. The other things we have to remind you, a tick looks like that. Some of you like to do things like that. Mavis and Stephen, are these ticks in your opinion? This is a dash.
Do you say pics or ticks?
Ticks.
Ticks.
Tick.
Ticks. Yeah, okay.
A tick is like this. And I always tell my students, you buy Nike, right? Nike is a tick. Would you buy Nike if it looks like this? I mean, the hook part is missing. So do things right and proper, okay? Not just for listening, but say for your editing. If you need to circle. Don't underline and don't do other things. During the second listening, then now you know. Just now you would say, oh, I didn't catch the answer for question 2. I couldn't tell which is true, which is false, or which is not mentioned. So you need to target the areas and start listening out for those reasons or opinions that you couldn't catch. And you also need to listen to exact wording. Like, for example, why does the speaker feel that uniforms are redundant? What's the meaning of redundant, for example? You might get big words like that, redundant. Oops. Redundant means not needed. Are you going to expect to hear redundant? Or would you hear not needed, for example? So you need to see, can you hear all these words? Are there distracting words? Needed, not needed, necessary, compulsory, should be mandatory. Are there negative words? Like, it is silly to expect all students to come looking as clones in school, for example. Then signal words. However, that said, I do think that school uniforms have a value. You need to listen out for signal words because you might just get a question to say which of the following statement best sums up Speaker 2's opinion about uniforms. Okay, so are we ready? For those of you who do not have the printed copies, what you do is you take out a piece of paper, you pre-number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you just write down A, B, C, or D. Okay, you're going to listen to 3 extracts, each with 2 questions set on it.
Okay, before we
Yes.
begin, can I check that everyone can see the questions? The sentence starts off by saying you will hear 2 friends discuss pet ownership. Okay, because the window settings might be different, so adjust and you can see it. Okay. And Mrs. Shum, like, there's also some artifacting happening on this lower right-hand corner of your screen. I think it's a piece of paper or something. There is appeared
Here?
again, so you're being blocked out by something.
That's the toolbar. Okay, let me just. Is it better now?
No. So this now is
What about
your
your
face, 3/4
your
of your face
camera?
disappeared. Yeah. So it could be a camera, it could be a wire, it could be something.
Okay. Can. Is it better
Okay.
now?
Yes. Now you look
Okay.
perfect.
So warm up 1, it's a conversation. You will hear 2 friends discuss pet ownership. So because this is a warm up, I'll only play it once. Okay, today you seriously want to try to catch things at the first listening. Let's try listening to this once, and then later on, don't type into the chat. We will run a poll so that you can key in your answers in the poll form.
Tick. The answer, A, B, C or D, that best fits according to what you hear. There are 2 questions for each extract. You will hear the extract twice. You will hear 2 friends discuss pet ownership.
My parents finally agreed to let me have a pet. I'm torn between a cat and a hamster, though. My cousin's ragdoll kitten is very affectionate and playful.
Well, you need to consider that cats require significantly more space, and your apartment is quite small. Plus, cats can be quite independent and aloof.
That's true, but hamsters are nocturnal, right? If it sleeps all day, I can't play with it at all. The only good thing is that, unlike cats and dogs, they don't need walks or as much attention.
Did you know that hamsters live for about 2 to 3 years, while cats can live for 15 years or more? You will have a long-time companion with a cat.
That's a good point. The short lifespan of hamsters would be heartbreaking. I must start thinking up ideas of how to create vertical spaces, like shelves or a cat tree.
Maybe we should visit an animal shelter this weekend to see if you can connect with any of the animals there.
That's perfect. Shelter cats are usually already litter trained too, which makes things easier. This newbie needs a head start in disciplinary matters.
Jyoti, can we pull out the poll for questions 1 and 2? Okay, has everyone input?
No, not yet, not yet. Not yet, not yet. Maybe another 10 seconds. Again, I have 10 seconds.
Can they change their minds? I'm just curious. Once
You
they
know what?
click,
No. Once you have placed your bet, you have placed your bet.
okay, I'm
Mr.
just
Sim
going to
asked,
end.
Mr.
Yes.
Sim made a comment in the chat, right? About slang, like the accent, right? Like various
Yes, many
accents.
of you find the slang or the accents annoying, but it can't be helped because during the actual examination, things are going to go very fast. So the thing is, you see, you cannot change the fact that recordings are going to be at 168 words per hour, per minute or more, or even faster. So what you need to do is to train up to listen for information very quickly. And the thing is, many of you listen to social media influencers. You watch a lot of YouTube. You watch gaming YouTubers. They speak even faster like that. So make it a habit. We cannot change the speed. You will listen to all kinds of accents. So you have to deal with it, okay? No whining and no amount of complaining will help you do better other than practice. So very well
Yeah,
done.
I think
Many, yes.
practice will actually help you to get used to it. The other thing is so for this particular passage, the one which we just heard, right? The this girl with speaking like she just came from Tennessee, and the man who spoke as if he just came out from the hospital. Would you say that this is actual speed or slower or faster than the actual Cambridge LC? What do you think, Mrs. Shum?
I've heard that it's faster than this.
Yeah, it's actually
Well,
faster. And
students
the what we
students
gave
have
to you is
likened the
just for
speed.
practice, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is considered slow, average, in fact, because my students have told me some of the recordings at DJ speed. Okay, so well done. Most of you got this correct. Shall we listen to it again so that you understand why? So that you understand why this is your
Tick.
answers are
The
correct.
answer for each extract. You will hear the extract twice. You will hear two friends discuss pet ownership.
My parents finally agreed to let me have a pet. I'm torn between a cat and a hamster, though. My cousin's ragdoll kitten is very affectionate and playful.
Well, you need to consider that cats require significantly more space, and your apartment is quite small. Plus, cats can be quite independent and aloof.
That's true, but hamsters are nocturnal, right? If it sleeps all day, I can't play with it at all. The only good thing is that, unlike cats and dogs, they don't need walks or as much attention.
Did you know that hamsters live for about 2 to 3 years, while cats can live for 15 years or more? You will have a long-time companion with a cat.
That's a good point. The short lifespan of hamsters would be heartbreaking. I must start thinking up ideas of how to create vertical spaces, like shelves or a cat tree.
Maybe we should visit an animal shelter this weekend to see if you can connect with any of the animals there.
That's perfect. Shelter cats are usually already litter trained too, which makes things easier. This newbie needs a head start in disciplinary matters.
Okay, so if you look at the answers, A is correct for number 1 and correct for number 2 as well. What is the main factor that appears to influence her final decision? So her final decision, she's gone for cats because she said, now I need to think up ideas of how to have shelves for them to play. And just before that, she said, true, hamsters, that's a good point. The shortness of hamsters' lifespans would be heartbreaking. So straight after this, she says that she will start thinking how to how to make her house ready to welcome a cat. So the amount of space was mentioned earlier. There's no mention of cost. And nocturnal habits is just about whether she gets to play with them. Okay? And which of the following can be inferred or guessed from the conversation? So we know she lives in a small place, but I'm not too sure whether the family members are too many. It is not mentioned. No mention of whether her parents prefer. And What about Ben? This is not relevant, okay? Ben has not said anything. He's just sharing that they only live 2 to 3 years, okay? It's a common fact. So finally, she says this newbie needs to get started, needs to get a head start, which indicates she is new to pet ownership. That's why she says, I need to learn about how to manage this kind of animal in order to own it well, okay? So the next one, what should all of you do now is to underline the keywords, okay? So let me do it with you, and let's aim for full mark, at least for this pair of questions. What is the main reason the tourist wants to visit a certain restaurant in Chinatown? The main reason, there are many reasons probably given. Which is the biggest reason? Is it egg tart? So this is what you need to do. If you don't want to mess up your paper, like I said, don't draw too many things around it. Okay, is it because of egg tart? Is it to compare it against other cities' food? Is it to have authentic Cantonese food again? Again, that means tried it before, really wants to try it again. Or is it to relieve memories? What's to relieve memories? You miss a place very much and you say, okay, I really want to visit a similar restaurant so that I can get back the feeling of being in Hong Kong again, for example. Next, this is a difficult one. There's some working to be done. In primary school, you learn the true false, isn't it? Is this question asking you for true or false statement? Which of the following is not mentioned? So you need T or you need F. Now, why am I doing this slow-mo? Some of you will do this. You listen and then you tick, and then you tick, and then you tick, and then you tick. Oh no. And then second reading, you double tick, and then you double tick, and what do two ticks mean? Is it true or is it false? Or is it the correct answer? And what happens when you panic? When students panic in the end, they'll say, okay, never mind. Ini, mini, miny, mo. I'm just going to put A. Okay, A
I
might
find
be the
that
answer.
the truth, what you're saying about the tick is absolutely correct. But I find that for myself, when I do it, if I do true false, I still get confused because I'm not sure
Yeah.
whether it is true that it is not mentioned or false that it's not mentioned. And then my brain just goes like that, you know. Maybe if I put down M or NM, you know, mention,
Oh dear,
okay,
and
or
not
not
mentioned.
mention, yeah, mention. Otherwise, I go.
Yes, exactly. So don't put a tick or a cross, because if you put a cross, are you looking for a false statement or is not correct? Okay, so you do it the primary school way. This is what we have taught our P6s. True or false? Meaning you need 3 T's and 1 F here. Okay, today, just for today, you try and see whether it works better. Okay, so which of the following is not mentioned as a feature of the restaurant? Is it the ornate entrance? What's the meaning of ornate? There are some restaurants that are very simple. Some restaurants are elaborately decorated. You know, you've got a pair of lions at the entrance, or you've got dragons, you've got carvings, all things in gold. Okay, is it mentioned where exactly the restaurant is, the achievements of the restaurant, whether the dim sum is prepared by experienced cook? So all these you have to listen out for. So I'm going to play it once. Let's try.
You will hear a tourist seeking directions from a local.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a restaurant in Chinatown called Golden Dragon. Would you be able to tell me which way to walk?
Sure. I'm making my way to a cafe next to it. Let me walk with you since it is just about 200 meters away. We'll make a right turn after the Chinese temple ahead of us.
Brilliant, yes, I can see the temple. I've only been to Chinatowns in Sydney, Australia and Vancouver, Canada. I'm absolutely craving some proper steamed buns and prawn dumplings. It's been years since I had dim sum made by Chinese or Hong Kong chefs.
You're in for a treat then. Golden Palace has several dim sum masters from Hong Kong. Don't forget to try their egg tarts for dessert. They are legendary.
Well, back in London we do have a few dim sum places, but the food tastes nothing like what I've tasted in Hong Kong during a business trip some years ago, when I read that Golden Dragon hires the best master chefs outside of Hong Kong. I knew I had to make it my first stop.
Here we are. Aren't the golden lion statues at the entrance gorgeous? Enjoy your meal.
Okay, Shetty, can you pull out 3 and 4 polls? Okay, we have a lot of mixed responses for question 4. Quite interesting. Mavis, is there anything said in the chat? Any of them feeling a bit lost?
No, nothing so far. Nothing so far.
Okay, I'm going to end poll.
Okay.
Well, they are correct if they put C and C. C and C. 70% got question 3 correct. And
Yeah.
question 4, surprisingly, I thought 4 was easier than 3. What is the main reason the tourists wanted to visit? Let's listen to it again.
You will hear a tourist seeking directions from a local.
Excuse me, I'm looking for a restaurant in Chinatown called Golden Dragon. Would you be able to tell me which way to walk?
Sure. I'm making my way to a cafe next to it. Let me walk with you since it is just about 200 meters away. We'll make a right turn after the Chinese temple ahead of us.
Brilliant, yes, I can see the temple. I've only been to Chinatowns in Sydney, Australia and Vancouver, Canada. I'm absolutely craving some proper steamed buns and prawn dumplings. It's been years since I had dim sum made by Chinese or Hong Kong chefs.
You're in for a treat then. Golden Palace has several dim sum masters from Hong Kong. Don't forget to try their egg tarts for dessert. They are legendary.
Well, back in London we do have a few dim sum places, but the food tastes nothing like what I've tasted in Hong Kong during a business trip some years ago, when I read that Golden Dragon hires the best master chefs outside of Hong Kong. I knew I had to make it my first stop.
Here we are. Aren't the golden lion statues at the entrance gorgeous? Enjoy your meal.
Okay, so did you capture all of these? The main reason, not the egg tarts. He never mentioned egg tarts. It was the local guy who said, you have to try it at this restaurant. Okay, so he's not there because of the egg tarts. And he did say he's been only to Chinatowns in Sydney, Australia, Vancouver, Canada, and craving for proper dim sum. So proper dim sum is here. Proper. Look at this word. Proper. And it's not to remember his trip to Hong Kong. He's saying that he has not had proper, what you call authentic Cantonese food since that business trip. Okay, so the whole idea is to experience truly tasty food that is cooked by in a Cantonese way again. Which of the following is not mentioned? So again, this is mentioned at the end. Here we are. Aren't the golden lion statues at the entrance gorgeous? Enjoy your meal. Okay, then next, Where the restaurant is located, it was mentioned near the temple, 200 meters away. You roughly know where according to the directions that were given. Next, it was mentioned when I read that Golden Dragon hires the best chefs, best master chefs outside of Hong Kong. I knew I had to make it there. So best chefs would mean they are the best people who can cook dim sum. Now, as for the achievement for this restaurant, not mentioned. What is achievement? If you say, oh, this restaurant is so good, it has achieved how many star Michelin rating, or it has been voted by TripAdvisor to be the top Chinese restaurant to go to in Singapore. Not mentioned at all. Okay, so can we put in the chat? You can do emojis. How are you feeling at the moment? Can you share with the teachers if you haven't had full marks? What is causing it? Are you able to tell us?
Oh no, we got a sky. Stop.
A sky.
Dead.
Okay, what is happening? Okay, while they're responding, those of you who don't have the worksheets, let's look at questions 5 and 6. There's so much to share with all of you today, okay? So I hope we can cover the full paper well. In case not, then we might have to speed up some portions. So, Mavis, what have they said? What is the main problem? Those of you who
Faces
didn't
are not
get 4
happy
out of 4.
faces. Most of the
Faces are not
faces,
happy faces. And then why? Did you not
exploding
catch?
head, crying face.
You cannot say I tricked you, huh? I mean, I wrote the materials, but the thing is, I also made sure some things were obviously true or false, like the ornate. I even went through the lion statues, right? I said some places are very elaborate. Okay, next one. Okay, so I'm just going to nanny you for a while more. Which physiological effect happens when we consume very cold foods and drink? Which effect happens? So is it metabolic processes? They ruin your throat tissue, they constrict your blood vessels, or they increase blood flow to help digestion. You notice out of this, this one you don't know whether it's good or bad. This is a negative effect. This is a negative effect. This one seems like a positive thing. Accelerate metabolic process is actually not bad, because if you have a faster metabolism, you can then digest, your body processes food pretty well. According to the dietitian, which is the speaker, why might consuming cold drinks make you overeat? Okay, so you cannot respond to this at a personal level. I tend to overeat as well. You cannot say, I didn't know. Okay, that's not the point, okay? Later on, you listen. Why might drinking cold drinks make you eat even more? Is it the cold temperature that makes you hungry? Is it your brain freeze so you forget to eat lesser? So you drink, say, 7-Eleven, you go for the Slurpee, okay, and then your brain says, forgets to tell you, okay, can you not eat so much potato chips? Or is it how quickly you eat that your body doesn't realize it cannot stop eating? Or is it cold drinks have got appetite enhancing compounds? Now, in food, you know there's something called MSG. It brings out this tastiness, and it makes you want to eat more. It can be quite addictive. So do cold drinks have appetite enhancing compounds? Let's listen to it 2 times back to back. Okay, and this time let's get it correct.
You will hear a dietitian share some advice.
Hello, I am Helen, a dietitian with over 15 years of experience in nutritional counseling. Today, I'd like to address why consuming excessive iced drinks and frozen desserts isn't advisable. While cold treats can be refreshing, consuming them in large quantities can impact your digestive system. Cold foods and drinks temporarily constrict blood vessels and slow digestive processes, potentially causing discomfort for those with sensitive systems. For individuals with conditions like irritable bowel syndrome or dental sensitivity, very cold items can trigger painful symptoms. The temperature shock can also cause throat irritation in some people. Another concern is that many commercial iced beverages and desserts contain substantial amounts of added sugars and calories with minimal nutritional value. Regular consumption can contribute to weight gain and increase risks for conditions like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular issues. Many people also tend to consume cold drinks too quickly, which can lead to painful brain freeze and may contribute to overeating, since rapid consumption doesn't give your body time to register fullness signals. Look, I'm not suggesting that you eliminate cold drinks and treats entirely. Moderation is key. Consider enjoying smaller portions, opting for versions with less added sugar, or trying alternatives like fruit-infused water or homemade fruit popsicles with minimal sugar or sweeteners. Dietitian with over 15 years of experience in nutritional counseling. Today, I'd like to address why consuming excessive iced drinks and frozen desserts isn't advisable. While cold treats can be refreshing, consuming them in large quantities can impact your digestive system. Cold foods and drinks temporarily constrict blood vessels and slow digestive processes, potentially causing discomfort for those with sensitive systems. For individuals with conditions like irritable bowel syndrome or dental sensitivity, very cold items can trigger painful symptoms. The temperature shock can also cause throat irritation in some people. Another concern is that many commercial iced beverages and desserts contain substantial amounts of added sugars and calories with minimal nutritional value. Regular consumption can contribute to weight gain and increase risks for conditions like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular issues. Many people also tend to consume cold drinks too quickly, which can lead to painful brain freeze and may contribute to overeating, since rapid consumption doesn't give your body time to register fullness signals. Look, I'm not suggesting that you eliminate cold drinks and treats entirely. Moderation is key. Consider enjoying smaller portions, opting for versions with less added sugar, or trying alternatives like fruit-infused water or homemade fruit popsicles with minimal sugar or sweeteners.
Okay, let's have them poll.
Hmm.
An improvement, right, Mavis?
Yes. Currently, yes.
Wow. Okay, looking good.
I'm just looking at those who didn't pick the right options, right? Like, what could have led them to pick those options? Like, what was the distractor?
Like brain freeze.
Brain
Okay, let me
freeze.
read.
Is it?
Brain freeze. Brain freeze may contribute to overeating. May contribute. So some of them hear this. Okay, they hear this. Okay, we end poll. C and C are correct. Okay, C and C are correct.
Yeah. We have a higher percentage getting both right now. Yeah.
Yes. So what's happening here? You need to listen to what's like may. Brain freeze was mentioned, but it says it may contribute to overeating. But, okay, it may contribute to overeating since rapid consumption does not give your body time to register fullness signal. This was exactly mentioned. This one is a may only, but this reason was fully set up. Okay, there's no mention of appetite enhancing. It wasn't put it this way about hormones. So C is clearly correct, okay? And as for D, I was actually doing working, if all of you notice, definitely not aiding digestion. Definitely not. If your digestion is working well, you wouldn't be overeating or putting on too much weight. Okay, and nothing to mention about metabolism. And although it says it can also damage throat, it can be painful when you drink it, did it say permanent? This is the thing. This cannot be the answer because it says it can cause discomfort. can cause discomfort for those with similar sensitive systems. And the shock can cause throat irritation. It did not say permanently ruin your throat tissue. If that happens, that means your voice, your ability to speak will be impacted. Okay, so don't jump to the extreme answer. Look for flag out words like that. Permanent damage. This is very serious. Can cause doesn't mean your throat tissue becomes permanently damaged. All right, anyone needs a toilet break? If not, let's soldier on, okay? I'm not going to nag already. For those of you who don't have the questions, can you quickly using your phone, take pictures of this, okay? We will listen to 3 extracts. Same way, questions 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and then 5 and 6. Oh dear, what happened to questions 1 and 2? We are missing a question 1 here. Then it got cut off. Okay, you listen to question 1 later. Let me just type according to the conversation. Okay, Mavis, can you show your copy first?
I will show.
And then let me type this one in.
Because it is in our
It's in the
teacher's
TC,
copies.
yes.
Yeah. Let me just show.
Actually, okay, I tell you what. I think I might be able to show it.
Page 10.
I think I can show it because the answers don't come out until later, right? The answers don't come out until later. So let me just skip to this so that we can quickly look at practice set 1, questions
this one.
1 and 2. Okay, so all of you take a shot. Let me just stop share and go back to the main page again. Yeah, funny how come it got cut off. Our apologies. Text for questions 1 and 2. Okay, which group of words best describe what irked? Okay, irked means annoyed. Irked means annoyed. Both speakers about the man's behavior. Then according to the conversation, which of the statements is inaccurate? So again, we're looking for 1 false. The rest are true statements. Okay, docs, let's start.
Tick the answer A, B, C, or D that best fits what you hear. You will hear the extract twice. You will hear 2 teenagers discuss a scene they just witnessed.
Did you see what just happened at the cashier counter? That man in a blue shirt completely cut in front of that elderly lady who was next in line. And when she politely pointed out that she was waiting, he just rolled his eyes and said he was in a hurry.
Everyone's in a hurry. That doesn't give anyone the right to disrespect queue etiquette. The worst part is that the cashier didn't say anything. She looked uncomfortable but didn't want to cause a scene. I can't believe the man didn't even apologize.
Exactly! He was tapping his card impatiently on the counter. Worse, he had the audacity to complain about how slow the service was while the cashier was processing his payment.
The irony is that the man probably only saved about 2 minutes by cutting the queue, but he totally ruined everyone's day and the atmosphere in the store. I must say the elderly lady handled the situation gracefully. I would have been tempted to say something more direct or even impolite words.
Let's play this again.
Yes. Witnessed.
Did you see what just happened at the cashier counter? That man in a blue shirt completely cut in front of that elderly lady who was next in line. And when she politely pointed out that she was waiting, he just rolled his eyes and said he was in a hurry.
Everyone's in a hurry. That doesn't give anyone the right to disrespect queue etiquette. The worst part is that the cashier didn't say anything. She looked uncomfortable but didn't want to cause a scene. I can't believe the man didn't even apologize.
Exactly! He was tapping his card impatiently on the counter. Worse, he had the audacity to complain about how slow the service was while the cashier was processing his payment.
The irony is that the man probably only saved about 2 minutes by cutting the queue, but he totally ruined everyone's day and the atmosphere in the store. I must say the elderly lady handled the situation gracefully. I would have been tempted to say something more direct or even impolite words.
Okay, can we put in the chat what is your answer? Did all of you get C and A? So you realize certain questions test your ability to recognize vocabulary words. So there was a mention of someone cutting queue, people who didn't do anything, especially the cashier didn't want to get involved. And the person who is saying he's in a hurry and therefore it is okay to behave like that. So it's entitlement, impatience, and rudeness. This is too extreme. Carelessness is like being very brutal. You know what's being brutal? Like cold-hearted. I think it's too extreme here. There's no crime, as in literally nobody was hurt. Okay, so you cannot say carelessness. He wasn't insulting anyone too badly as well. Okay, nothing to do with carelessness. No mention of carelessness, and nobody behaved carelessly. And you don't have aggression. Aggression would be trying to punch someone or spewing really violent language or vulgarities even. So it's self-entitlement. What is entitlement? Feeling that the world owes you something because you are in a rush and therefore it is okay to cut in the queue. Next, did you get the false statement here? Inaccurate. So let's look at the true statements. The cashier, what happened? The cashier was just keeping very quiet about it. The cashier was processing his payment. Okay, so did not butt in. Okay, so the cashier prefers to just continue doing her job without getting involved. The man's impatience was demonstrated through both his verbal and non-verbal behavior. Yes, he said aloud and also tapping his card impatiently on the counter is non-verbal. So non-verbal is action. He did say something out. He also rolled his eye, isn't it? D is true. One speaker suggested that the man's time saving was proportional to the disruption he caused. Yeah, the irony was that the man probably only saved 2 minutes by cutting the queue. He only saved 2 minutes, not that he saved half an hour or something like that. So this is true. And definitely not mentioned and not true is that the speaker did not say that you only queue up depending on how urgent you are. This is definitely not true because both speakers were annoyed by such behavior. Okay, so number one is clearly out. Mavis, did they get most of it correct?
All of them gave us their answers. So for the next two questions, right, everybody? Type your answers in, okay, for both questions, just side by side.
Yeah, type
So
in
we
your
get a
answers
sense.
side by side. That way we get a sense of how you did lah. Okay, questions 3 and 4. Now you've got a conversation between two siblings. What underlying assumption do both siblings make throughout their conversation? Is it celebrations become less significant as people age? Is it grandmother preferring novel ideas over predictable ideas? Anyone knows what novel is? We had it in one of the comprehension practice. I think this was in a Sec 2 comprehension, the one about dog therapy. that animal therapy is not a novel idea. Novel means fresh or new. Predictable means something you can easily guess. So let me help you with some vocabulary words. Does grandmother value family connections over material possessions? What's material? Things that are expensive, things you get like gifts. That grandmother has limited physical stamina to go through celebration activities. That means she doesn't have enough strength. Is it a matter of not enough physical strength? Okay, next one. Which underlying philosophy about celebrations is reflected in the final birthday plan? Finally, when they did decide, what is the understanding they have? Is it prioritizing physical gifts over shared experience? Is it about spending lots of money that is most important? Is it having dramatic surprises, evoking very strong emotions, for example? Or is it personalized experiences aligned with the recipient's preferences that is more important? Okay, so let's listen to part recording 2 conversation.
You will hear a conversation between two siblings.
What should we do for Grandma's 80th birthday? It's a significant milestone, and I was considering a surprise party, but I'm not sure if that's too much excitement for her at 80.
That's a good point. Grandma's always said she prefers simple gatherings over fancy events. What if we did a family dinner instead? We could reserve a private room at her favorite Italian restaurant by the Singapore River.
Good idea. We could still surprise her by having Uncle Robert show up. He's been in Australia for over 2 years, and Grandma always says how she misses him terribly. We could also compile a digital book featuring photos from different decades and messages from everyone in the family.
That's perfect. I have all those old home videos Dad took. I could digitize them and create a digital montage of all the special moments in her life, such as her wedding, our birthdays, and family holidays. We could watch it with her on our iPad after dinner.
Perfect. A cozy dinner with her family, a trip down memory lane, and great Italian food. Grandma's gonna have the best 80th birthday ever.
Okay, second listening.
What should we do for Grandma's 80th birthday? It's a significant milestone, and I was considering a surprise party, but I'm not sure if that's too much excitement for her at 80.
That's a good point. Grandma's always said she prefers simple gatherings over fancy events. What if we did a family dinner instead? We could reserve a private room at her favorite Italian restaurant by the Singapore River.
Good idea. We could still surprise her by having Uncle Robert show up. He's been in Australia for over 2 years, and Grandma always says how she misses him terribly. We could also compile a digital book featuring photos from different decades and messages from everyone in the family.
That's perfect. I have all those old home videos Dad took. I could digitize them and create a digital montage of all the special moments in her life, such as her wedding, our birthdays, and family holidays. We could watch it with her on our iPad after dinner.
Perfect. A cozy dinner with her family, a trip down memory lane, and great Italian food. Grandma's gonna have the best 80th birthday ever.
Okay, so everybody write your answers down, okay, in the chat. Tell us your answers. What's your answer for 3 and 4? Okay, 3 and 4. Gwen, why do you have a question mark? Are you asking me a question or are you giving us an answer? Okay,
Gwen,
what are your
okay.
answers?
Very good. I see
Mm,
correct answers. I think quite clear cut, not too difficult. Definitely it's not a matter of physical stamina. And definitely there's this talk about simple gatherings over fancy events. Simple gatherings over fancy events. What does this mean? Over means you prefer one thing over the other, okay? Simple. Can all of you write down somewhere? If you do hear the word austere, austere also means very simple, very basic. And then they were talking about at the end, they will have have it at her favorite restaurant by the river, a digital book to put in all the memorable moments through photographs. So definitely not this, right? Not a matter of things too grand, no dramatic surprises, and definitely personalized experiences aligned with the recipient's preferences, carry more value than lavish gifts. So well done. I saw many, many pairs of good answers. Questions 5 and 6. Okay, we're gonna go really fast. This time I'm not gonna help you. Okay? I will circle to nag, but then you know what you should do if you have your papers with you. So if you're doing on A4, you just need to have A, B, C, D, and you still can do your own notes on A4 paper. Okay, so I will not say a thing. I will underline words for you. Let's listen to the recording.
You will hear a doctor talk about the importance of having enough rest.
Sleep deprivation is one of the most common yet overlooked triggers for headaches. As a neurologist who specializes in headache disorders, I regularly observe this connection in my practice. First, sleep deprivation alters the production of key neurotransmitters, particularly serotonin and dopamine, which play crucial roles in pain regulation. Additionally, insufficient rest also increases inflammation throughout the body, including the meninges, the protective layers surrounding the brain, and directly triggers headache pain. This explains why many patients report increased headache frequency and intensity during periods of sleep disruption. For patients struggling with recurrent headaches, I recommend maintaining consistent sleep-wake times, even on weekends, while aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep nightly in a cool, dark, quiet sleeping environment and avoiding screens at least 1 hour before bedtime, as well as limiting caffeine after noon. Remember, treating your sleep disorder may be the key to resolving your frequent headaches.
Second hearing.
Sleep deprivation is one of the most common yet overlooked triggers for headaches. As a neurologist who specializes in headache disorders, I regularly observe this connection in my practice. First, sleep deprivation alters the production of key neurotransmitters, particularly serotonin and dopamine, which play crucial roles in pain regulation. Additionally, insufficient rest also increases inflammation throughout the body, including the meninges, the protective layers surrounding the brain, and directly triggers headache pain. This explains why many patients report increased headache frequency and intensity during periods of sleep disruption. For patients struggling with recurrent headaches, I recommend maintaining consistent sleep-wake times, even on weekends, while aiming for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep nightly in a cool, dark, quiet sleeping environment and avoiding screens at least 1 hour before bedtime, as well as limiting caffeine after noon. Remember, treating your sleep disorder may be the key to resolving your frequent headaches.
Okay,
Can you
share your
key in your
answers with
answer?
us.
Hmm?
Tell us your answers.
Yeah, share your answers with us.
No, the accents won't always be British. Any English-speaking person from any part of the world, it's
Yes.
possible that you hear their accent, okay?
I've been told that there are Indian accents, Australian, New Zealand accents, USA accents. Okay, so you cannot say, oh, I'm not used to it. You have to, the whole point is next time when you go out to work, you cannot say, oh, my boss is from this country or that country. I cannot understand. Then it is your problem, not the person's problem. Okay? The MOE is really training you to get used to all kinds of accents and getting you to understand what people are saying. Does it look like they're getting full marks?
Yeah. I think most of them got they selected the right answer, CC.
Yes.
CC.
So again, I didn't nag. This one means you need to look for 3 false statements. Inflammation decreases during periods of poor sleep. I think it is the reverse. Most headaches caused by eye strain. Most headaches, is it caused by eye strain?
No.
It is one of them, not the main one. There is a direct line that says sleep deprivation alters the production of key neurotransmitters, particularly serotonin and dopamine, which play crucial roles in pain regulation. This is playing a crucial role. Earlier on in my in what I taught, I highlighted you need to listen for signal words. Yeah, okay, so signal words, a huge role. And did the neurologist say the best way to do is to eat medicine?
No.
Actually, no. Okay, in fact, it gives you the answer. It is not. In fact, she says, remember to treat your sleep disorder. It may be the key to resolving your frequent headaches. So definitely not taking medicine. It is not asking you to avoid. It says limit. Okay, I'm writing down what you should have heard. Limit does not mean avoid. That means instead of drinking 4 cups of coffee, for those who have an addiction to it, maybe they take latte, okay, something that is diluted or lesser, okay, limited. And nothing is mentioned about having a stricter diet. So everyone clear? Don't imagine things that are not there. Now, this is the first time we are going to practice 6 speakers together. Very quickly, what all of you need to do is, when you go to this page, you are so used to seeing speaker 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What should you do? Digital technology habits. What does that mean? What people use computers and devices for and how they use them. So you're going to hear a lot of repetition of certain words. You're going to hear a lot of tablets, computers, screen time, this and that. Don't get distracted by the repeated ones. What you need to hear would be, can all of you take a highlighter to underline, or you watch how I do it? Do you work more effectively alone? This is the main thing. Alone is solitary. That means on my own. Will you hear words like that? I prefer doing things on my own. Next, the second speaker is not about alone or what? Discipline. I am disciplined about technology time blocks. What's time blocks? That means you limit. You may hear words like limit usage. You have a strict curfew time, for example. I organize my digital tools systematically. This person is very neat about what? Organizing digital tools, the apps and whatever you use, everything is organized very well. So this is a neat, very, very neat person, very organized. I must focus on one task at a time. You know, there are some people who can open up, are you one of those? They can open up 8 windows and have things running. Okay, my poor brain cannot take it. You see, I'm only with 2 windows open, a player and PDF, and already, to me, this is cluttering up my screen, isn't it? So some people can do many things at one time. Some people can only do one digital task at one time. Next, the opposite of working alone is collaborative. Collaborative digital platforms enhance work. So this person thinks that platforms that allow for collaboration can help you do better. Next, some people say some of these digital habits are counterproductive. Counter means not useful at all. And next one, I utilize technology effectively within structured boundaries. So can anyone tell me, in this Zoom room, which pair is most close? That there's usually 1 or 2 pairs that are very, very close. This one, especially G. Which one is very similar to G? I utilize technology effectively within structured boundaries. Can you see that B, C, and G are quite similar in terms of ideas? They're all very neat. They all have their own system of doing things. but each focusing on a different aspect. All right, so let's try one hearing only. Okay, we tried one hearing only.
You will hear 6 short recordings. In each recording, a teenager talks about their digital technology habits. For questions 7 to 12, choose from the list, AG, what he or she prefers about using technology. There is one extra letter which you do not need to use. Do not use any letter more than once. Speaker 1.
I've discovered that utilizing digital devices in designated productivity periods enhances my efficiency substantially. The framework is practical, with scheduled intervals for focused work. Although notifications occasionally demand attention, we maintain boundaries and acknowledge the importance of digital wellness. It's the structured approach that proves most beneficial.
Speaker 2.
Throughout intensive project phases, I frequently engage with technology during predetermined time blocks. My productivity appears to peak during structured sessions. I configure notification settings and organize digital resources meticulously whilst adhering to strict time management protocols.
Speaker 3.
My digital wellness coach emphasizes that attempting to multitask with various applications significantly impairs cognitive performance. Research indicates that the brain struggles to process multiple digital streams simultaneously. Consequently, she's implemented strict guidelines where device usage must follow single-task principles.
Speaker 4.
Task categorization, application organization, and digital workflow optimization constitute the fundamental elements of my technology methodology. I utilize different platforms for distinct purposes: professional for productivity tools, educational for learning resources, and recreational for entertainment. This systematic approach substantially improves my digital efficiency.
Speaker 5.
Several of my peers merely scroll through social media mindlessly, but such behavior proves counterproductive for me. One particular friend engages with content passively and browses indefinitely. Their screen time statistics suggest this approach is detrimental. I favor purposeful and time-limited digital engagement.
Speaker 6.
When presented with the option of collaborative digital platforms versus independent digital work, I invariably opt for the latter. Solitary technological engagement facilitates superior concentration and allows for personalized workflow. Furthermore, it proves more productive without external digital distractions.
Okay, I play it once more.
For questions 7 to 12, choose from the list, AG, what he or she prefers about using technology. There is one extra letter which you do not need to use. Do not use any letter more than once. Speaker 1.
I've discovered that utilizing digital devices in designated productivity periods enhances my efficiency substantially. The framework is practical, with scheduled intervals for focused work. Although notifications occasionally demand attention, we maintain boundaries and acknowledge the importance of digital wellness.
Okay, do all of you agree this is G? How about this? For this section, we do speaker by speaker. Do you get G? Because if you listen to speaker 2 later, a little similar, a bit similar, but the choice of words is different. So if you notice, I was actually typing out notes while I was listening to the speaker. There's some words that were repeated: workflow, productivity, schedule, intervals. But here it is about productivity, setting boundaries. The second one, you listen very carefully, it's about time blocks. Time block was actually mentioned. Having very structured sessions and preventing notifications from coming in.
It's the structured approach that proves most beneficial.
Speaker 2.
Throughout intensive project phases, I frequently engage with technology during predetermined time blocks. My productivity appears to peak during structured sessions. I configure notification settings and organize digital resources meticulously whilst adhering to strict time management protocols.
Speaker 3.
My digital wellness coach emphasizes that attempting to multitask with various applications significantly impairs cognitive performance. Research indicates that the brain struggles to process multiple digital streams simultaneously. Consequently, she's implemented strict guidelines where device usage must follow single-task principles.
Speaker 4.
Task category.
Okay, let me just cut in a little bit. So speaker 3, what is your guess? This person struggles with multiple tasks. So the only one here is I must focus on one task only, right? So speaker 3 is obviously only able to focus on one thing because he struggles with multiple tasks. Speaker 4, you will hear something about workflow, organization, different platforms, efficiency. So we are left with that third one. Just now we highlighted these three are quite similar. It's about organizing the way you do things and keeping to a certain discipline, whether it's time, the way you organize your desktop, and whether you put certain things, group them together. So let's listen to 4, 5, and 6.
She's implemented strict guidelines where device usage must follow single-task principles.
Speaker 4.
Task categorization, application organization, and digital workflow optimization constitute the fundamental elements of my technology methodology. I utilize different platforms for distinct purposes: professional for productivity tools, educational for learning resources, and recreational for entertainment. This systematic approach substantially improves my digital efficiency.
Speaker 5.
Several of my peers merely scroll through social media mindlessly, but such behavior proves counterproductive for me. One particular friend engages with content passively and browses indefinitely. Their screen time statistics suggest this approach is detrimental. I favor purposeful and time-limited digital engagement.
Speaker 6.
Okay, so this person says if you scroll and you keep just looking at your phones, it is detrimental. So here, F is the one that says digital habits are counterproductive. Mindless scrolling is a kind of habit. It's a kind of behavior and way you use the internet. So last one, speaker 6.
6. When presented with the option of collaborative digital platforms versus independent digital work, I invariably opt for the latter. Solitary technological engagement facilitates superior concentration and allows for personalized workflow. Furthermore, it proves more productive without external digital distractions.
Okay, let's do a quick poll in the chat, or can you put emojis? How many of you got full marks for this section? Are you able, or hands up? You can put a hands up so that we can see. Only one person got everything correct.
4 upon 6.
A few others. 4.6. What are your scores like?
Tell us your scores upon 6. How much do you get?
Yeah. That's why I also have to urge all of you, really, you have to start asking yourself, how can you improve? Is it a bad habit of not annotating? Because after all, the next part is note taking. Some of you are very scared of it, but I really want to tell you, in English, you learn PEEL, right? Whatever is here, you can guess by reading what follows. What is the main idea? What is the main idea? Okay, so features, for example. Then you see all the features. Then what is this one? What do you see? They take place across different places. Then one is held at a cathedral. And then they feature work by such people. So actually, if you look at the queue, a famous festival, this is why you have to pull into mind all you have practiced for editing in primary school, all your close passages. You've done many of these close passages. Famous festivals, famous places, people, outstanding contributions to society by a certain person or by a certain organization. what are they always about? Don't they always tell you the 5 W's and 1 H? The who, what, when, why, how? So the next thing is, I want you to also scan. Let's do both sections together because both are largely about culture and music. Okay, I put both quite similar for the first practice. Here you have a cultural celebration. So you cannot IDK this. All these you have within you the capacity to do well. So some of them are very, very obviously trying to give you marks. Okay, for example, if you get both pairs correct, you get both correct, you get 1 mark. Year founded. So you need a year. Venue in America. So those of you who have good sense of geography and places within countries, you already can guess the answer for this one. Anyone knows already? Where's Central Park? Madagascar Part 1. The animals came from that city. Venue in America. So your answer cannot be London or England or Norway, right? Venue in America. That means this must be an American city. It cannot be elsewhere. So let me ask all of you one question. If you really couldn't catch, do you know any American cities at all? If you follow NBA or baseball, LA Lakers, right? Los Angeles Lakers, New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls, Detroit Pistons, all these are cities. Just put one in rather than leave it blank. Chances are you might be just correct. Goals of the festival. Goals, the aims. To do what and to end what by when. So here you have a year. Here is a year. This one is a year as well. How to get free tickets. How to get free tickets. So your years must go for words like, now what's another word for free? You might hear words like complimentary. Complimentary. If you hear words like complimentary means it's free. So how do you get the free tickets? Listen out for it. And then now you need a number. They have taken more than how many number. So what do? You write down number form. If there's a chance later, you fill back in the English writing form. Then you need a number as well. How many $billion? Listen out for it. Next, concerts are timed to coincide with the UN General Assembly to fight for opportunities for what and what commitments from world leaders. Here, can you see all the countries? You need to spell countries out. Chief, you may hear a verb like Mavis teaches English very well. So Mavis' term, the thing is she a chief educator, chief teacher, master teacher, for example? Next, past events. They were broadcast from 6 what? Date of 2025 concert. Please, there's only one date mentioned, so listen out for it. Okay, so how about this? We do the hardest one first. Maybe what shall we do? We just play both one round and then we show them the answers or what?
Tomorrow we are focusing on note taking, right? So perhaps we complete the one with the graphic organizer today, and then we can work on the note taking tomorrow.
Yes, but we let them hear once at least before they run off. We let them hear everything.
Okay.
Oops, digital. Thank you.
You will hear a tour guide share about a famous festival in his country. As you listen, take note of the main ideas and details. Complete the graphic organizer below. You will hear the recording twice.
The Northern Lights Music Festival, held annually in Tromsø, Norway, stands as one of the world's most uniquely positioned cultural celebrations, taking place entirely above the Arctic Circle during the polar night period when the sun never rises. Established in 1987 by Norwegian violinist Henning Kregerud and cellist Øyvind Gimse. The festival has evolved from a small chamber music gathering into a prestigious international event that attracts musicians and audiences from around the globe. The festival spans 10 days each January, strategically scheduled during the period of atmospheric darkness when the aurora borealis is most visible. Performances occur across 15 venues throughout Tromsø, including the striking Arctic Cathedral, whose triangular architecture and massive stained glass windows provide a dramatic backdrop for concerts illuminated by the dancing northern lights visible through its transparent facade. What distinguishes this festival is its remarkable juxtaposition of classical music against the Arctic wilderness. Chamber orchestras, solo pianists, and vocal ensembles perform whilst the green and purple auroras illuminate the sky outside. The programming deliberately includes compositions inspired by Arctic landscapes, with works by Norwegian composers featuring prominently alongside international classical pieces. Beyond traditional concert formats, the festival incorporates outdoor performances where musicians play on specially constructed ice instruments in illuminated snow amphitheaters. The Aurora Sessions segment features performances timed to coincide with peak aurora activity, where musicians improvise in response to the light's movements, creating a dialogue between natural phenomena and human artistry. The festival also maintains a strong educational component through its Arctic Talent Initiative, which brings young musicians from conservatoires worldwide to study with master performers in this extraordinary setting.
Quoting twice.
The Northern Lights Music Festival, held annually in Tromsø, Norway, stands as one of the world's most uniquely positioned cultural celebrations, taking place entirely above the Arctic Circle during the polar night period when the sun never rises. Established in 1987 by Norwegian violinist Henning Kregerud and cellist Øyvind Gimse, the festival has evolved from a small chamber music gathering into a prestigious international event that attracts musicians and audiences from around the globe. The festival spans 10 days each January, strategically scheduled during the period of atmospheric darkness when the aurora borealis is most visible. Performances occur across 15 venues throughout Tromsø, including the striking Arctic Cathedral, whose triangular architecture and massive stained glass windows provide a dramatic backdrop for concerts illuminated by the dancing northern lights visible through its transparent facade. What distinguishes this festival is its remarkable juxtaposition of classical music against the Arctic wilderness. Chamber orchestras, solo pianists, and vocal ensembles perform whilst the green and purple auroras illuminate the sky outside. The programming deliberately includes compositions inspired by Arctic landscapes, with works by Norwegian composers featuring prominently alongside international classical pieces. Beyond traditional concert formats, the festival incorporates outdoor performances where musicians play on specially constructed ice instruments in illuminated snow amphitheaters. The Aurora Sessions segment features performances timed to coincide with peak aurora activity, where musicians improvise in response to the light's movements, creating a dialogue between natural phenomena and human artistry. The festival also maintains a strong educational component through its Arctic Talent Initiative, which brings young musicians from conservatoires worldwide to study with master performers in this extraordinary setting.
A lot of students are saying it's too fast. It's not too fast. You can expect this speed.
This is average already.
You
Okay,
can
don't
expect
worry.
the speed. I think it's challenging also because of the context. Like some of the words they have maybe never used
Never
them, you know.
come across.
Yeah.
But
So
actually,
that's
when
why
you look at the answers, they are not difficult. Okay,
Yeah.
can all of you just have a look at the answers? Just have a look, okay? Because some of you may have to go off promptly at about 9. I show you the answers, but what I also want you to do is to listen to the last one. Actually, you find the last one easier now that you have done something even more technical. Okay, let's quickly listen to this so that some
You
of
will
you
hear a
can go off.
speaker share about a cultural celebration. As you listen, complete the notes. You do not need to write in complete sentences. You will hear the extract only once.
The Global Citizen Festival is an annual music festival founded in 2012 by Ryan Gall and Hugh Evans as part of the Global Poverty Project. The inaugural festival took place on September 29, 2012, with 60,000 people in attendance on the Great Lawn in New York's iconic Central Park. The festival's unique model rec. You raise attendees to earn free tickets by taking actions to combat extreme poverty through the Global Citizen app and website. Participants earn points by signing petitions, calling political representatives, and participating in challenges. Since 2009, Global Citizens have taken more than 43 million actions, leading to over $49 billion being distributed to partners worldwide, impacting 1.29 billion lives. Since 2015, the goals have been closely aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which comprise 17 tasks aimed at ending extreme global poverty by 2030. The festival is strategically timed to coincide with the UN General Assembly to leverage opportunities for policy and financial commitments from world leaders. Major artists who have performed include Neil Young with Crazy Horse, Foo Fighters, Rihanna, Beyoncé, Jay-Z, Pearl Jam, Stevie Wonder, Coldplay, and Billie Eilish. In 2015, Coldplay's Chris Martin was announced as the festival's curator for 15 years. The festival has expanded globally, with events held in Australia, Belgium, Canada, Germany, India, South Africa, and the United Kingdom. The 2021 Global Citizen Live was broadcast from 6 continents over 24 hours, becoming one of the most significant international events comparable to Live Aid. The next Global Citizen Festival returns to Central Park on Saturday, September 27, 2025.
Wasn't this easier?
Is everyone still alive? Are you still there?
Hey, did you hear this exciting day? It is just 2 days from now, coincidentally. Coincidentally, I written this and then we decided on having the session here. So for those of you who need to go off, I hope you heard these, the year founded. Like I said, if you really cannot catch, you just put in Detroit, Chicago, whatever, Washington. There's one chance you might get it correct. Okay, so the moral of the story is you try not to leave any blanks. If you leave a blank, you get 0. If you just make a guess, your guess might just be correct. Okay, and again, if you watch Madagascar, I think you know where this is. Goals of the festival: United Nations to end poverty by 2030, and how to get free tickets to earn points from the Global Citizen app. Okay, then global impact. Just now you saw what I put, right? I put here. But you cannot have 43M. You need to spell it out. Then here, if you put 49, you need to spell it out. Numbers under 100, you try to spell out because they are smaller and they're not difficult to spell. Of course, you don't spell 35,624 out in one line. Some things you can write in numbers. Then Germany, South Africa. Now, I purposely tested all of you for these. How many of you forgot to put your capital letters?
Proper nouns.
Capitals, yes. And Chris Martin was made the curator for 15 years. So you have a chief what? He was made a curator for 15 years. What's a curator? He then decides whom to invite. What is the best list of artists or celebrities from all over the world? So 6 continents, I think you can guess, right? It cannot be 6 countries. Look, global reach, this is more than 6 already. So 6 continents over 24 hours. So excited. Date of 2025 concert. It is okay you leave out 2025 because we want the date this year. Okay? 2 days from now. So exciting.
Okay. We see some questions in the chat. Let me just say a few things. Okay, so firstly, can you write UN instead of United Nations? Cannot. It's an English exam. But as you are listening, because you don't have time to spell out, just use shorthand first, it's fine. You need to come back and spell out the whole word. Okay, so that's one of the things mentioned. So if it's a proper noun, like languages, proper noun. So English,
New York.
New York, okay, places, name of languages are proper nouns. And then so capital letter. The other one it's do you need hyphen when you put 49 and 43? Hey, didn't we learn this in primary one? How to
Yes,
spell
you learn
numbers?
this in primary one. Yes, you have to remember all these. You cannot say ha. It's only a dash. I mean, 49 has to be spelled this way. I've not known of any other way to spell it.
It's
So
not
if you're asking
49,
us, must I do capital, like for countries like Belgium or Germany? Definitely. This is without a question. Remember this, you are taking an English exam. You're not taking shorthand or summary writing contest or speed writing contest. Okay? It is an English paper. So everything needs to be spelled out. So you have one day to rest. Tomorrow we will do the second session. So for those of you who can't make it, you can download our materials. Apologies for missing out question 2. We will quickly re-upload it later again. Okay, so how's everyone feeling? How's everyone feeling?
Tomorrow's okay. Tomorrow, how can you sign up for tomorrow's session? Actually, when you sign up for this webinar, it's the whole thing. So you will get the link for tomorrow's session and also Monday, right? 2nd of October. Okay.
The same
So if you have
link.
signed up,
Xue Yi saying something?
yeah, so
It's the same link.
same link for today. Okay. Same link for today's session. Okay. Same
Yeah.
link.
So those of you who have to go, you can go, but I'm also showing how the passage works. These are typical lengths, and they will not put everything into one paragraph. The information will be spread out. So you can see where the blues are. I'm showing you to let you see exactly when writers write exams like that, even for comprehension. Things are all spread out. You notice from paragraphs 1 all the way to paragraphs 8 or 9, we have to cover everything. So it cannot be they give you no space to breathe. There will be pockets of time where you have a few seconds before you actually look for the answers. Okay, so any feedback other than the recordings are fun?
Sweaty has uploaded the revised copy to reflect question 2. Thank you, Sweat.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Today, tomorrow, same link. Tomorrow, it's also 7:30 to 9 o'clock. And then on Monday, it will be 2 hours because that's our last session.
Not
Okay?
Monday, I think Thursday. Next Thursday.
2nd October. Maybe I got it wrong. 2nd October. Oh, yeah, Thursday, sorry.
Thursday, 2nd October.
I can
Don't
no
scare
longer
me.
track time. Okay, will this be recorded and uploaded on eStudy Buddy? It will actually be uploaded on YouTube. So
yes,
everyone has access to it. Okay. Great.
Yes.
That's about it. So
how's everyone feeling? I hope.
Give us an emoji.
Give us an emoji, yes, or a thumbs up or something.
Musicians worldwide. Young musicians
Yeah,
worldwide.
it's okay. If you put young musicians worldwide, it's okay. The main thing is to groom who? Worldwide. That's okay. The main word is you need the young musician. So actually, you're not needed to write in full sentences. You won't get sentences. They just want basically short phrases or very sharp answers.
What do we have, like,
So remember, you see a
people
January, yeah? January has to be in capital letters. Okay? Arctic Circle
stressed,
has to
huh?
be in.
Stressed. Go home. Which level
Stressed.
are you at now? You're not in Sec 4, right? Go home. Very
Some of
stressed.
them are. Some of them are.
Okay. It will get better because it depends on schools, right? Because some schools hardly cover listening. They maybe just before the exam they do 1 or 2 practices. So it's one of those neglected components. You have listening tomorrow. Okay, so you make sure you annotate and actively annotate as you're listening. Let's not rely on our short-term memory, okay? Because it's very unreliable in an exam, especially
I
short-term
also
memory.
forgot to say this. I gave you a visual clue. Global Citizen Festival, NYC. There is a reason.
Choose. Okay?
Yeah, accidentally gave clues. Okay, so thanks for being with us. Thanks for being with us. Mavis, I will stop
Yeah.
share first.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And if you have friends, let's say your upcoming listening exam and your friends don't know about this, just share it with them, okay? And then they can just join us tomorrow and then next Thursday. Okay? Just let them know, and then we shall see all of you here again tomorrow and next Thursday. All right? Have a very good rest and see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sweaty.
Yeah, you can send the links to your friends as well, school friends or cousins. Invite them to join us.